This animation is sick. I didn't try that. Oh, this is part of the trailer. Realm, God, it's lagging, buffering, all that stuff. Oh my god, what the hell? I can't do anything. Animation is sick. Ah, these are cutscenes. Oh my god, I need to tell you, why do you keep following me? Thank God! This person's dead.
Sound guy, I'm trustful on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to Realm Royale, baby. Reforged.
Hello.
Ooh, I gotta take a second. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Thor, your host today, the lead designer of Realm Royale Reforged, and I'm joined by the one, the only, High-Res Adam, everybody.
How is it going, and where are we excited to be here?
Oh, it feels good.
How's it going?
I gotta take a moment here.
Feels like a bad time because I'm actually in a Realm Royale match.
I'm back, baby. Daddy's home. Drop your socks and grab your box, baby. It's game time. It's a good day to be alive because we were talking about Realm Royale in depth. We're talking about the new patch coming at you guys live after this show. It's gonna be live and good to go. And we've got a long show, so let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. We are definitely very excited to share all this stuff with you guys today. Man, this is gonna be great. So we've gone through and we're changing kind of a lot of stuff. So let's go through and see what you guys think about it.
But before we get into that,
let's
take
because usually my videos
talk
have
about number one. Who are you?
it's really loud.
Said with me? Is it High-Res Adam? What are we going with, my friend?
That's what we're going with right now. But yeah, I'm the creative director for Realm Royale. Sounds awesome.
So spicy.
That's dope.
I get to work with art, design, kind of find the vision of the game. So the big thing we try to do now is visionize. That's a word. Making it up. Realm Royale for you guys. So.
Well, the reason why we're in this chair, and to take a step back here for a second, is we need to highlight two tips of a coin. First and foremost, internally, the Goobsies, the Michaels, the people, the Stews, who pushed very hard for Realm Royale for the last 2.5 years because they believe something special was here. So on the other side of that coin was you, the community, and gosh dang it, you did it. 2.5 years of, let's say, less than ideal servers.
Good job, the community. I just started playing like 2 weeks ago.
Bad patches, and you guys showed every single day.
I think in a total of 65 hours.
You guys just couldn't
on Switch.
Came back and then I got the call, like it would be the sign in the air, be like, Thor.
Also, by the way, I'm sorry for being
We
rude.
put out the Thor symbol. Light it up.
And we're back, baby. We were back, and we're back in a big way. And today marks a first step. I would say a big step, but a continuous step from us. And so we're excited. So let's, without further ado, let's get into what's changing, why is it changing, where is it changing, and how is it changing, I suppose.
I want to give another shout out to our team in general. Right? Just sort of say, we're a group of individuals coming together wearing multiple hats trying to make this thing happen. It's been so great working with the team. Everybody is like all hands on deck, jumping in any way they possibly can, outside, inside of their roles. I just want to say mega props to everybody. Hopefully we show this off well for all the hard work that's gone into it.
Yeah, we piggyback off that. We are a small team, and to set expectations, we are a small team. And but as a player, because I have been in the dev industry before, but to take a step back and look at all the content we've made in the last 3 months. When I tell you it's a small team, I think you guys are gonna be absolutely blown away with the amount of stuff.
Honestly,
I know we're teasing. We're gonna get into it, but I've just been blown away, and it's been a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming at each other, go touch grass, beating on these patch notes, beating on these new weapons, abilities, classes, all that kind of stuff. But I'm proud. At the end of the day, I'm proud. I'm proud to see what my team has gotten to make because without any of them, this wouldn't have been possible. So, of course, the ODP, and we'll get into that as well. But
yeah, one more thing to reiterate is that we definitely feel like this is a game that's now it's ready to share. It's not ready to be considered done, right? We want the community to be in it, everybody as much as possible.
No
we have
wonder
fun
they
and play our
the
game,
prices
and
for
see
sure.
how we can make it our game and your game
you
together.
get so many
I think this is such a great and exciting time to just put it out there and be flexible and just make it a great fun experience for you guys. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, you mentioned something in past me. It's like it's called Reforged, and that's because we're reforging with you. We're not done yet. Gosh, you know how much work we gotta do. But we thought it was time for you guys.
Oh my god, this
sucks.
sucks.
And now you guys get to scream at us.
Yeah.
About
I'm
what?
like not ready
Matt, let's
for
get
the
in.
push.
Let's start with some of the updates here, right?
And
So
my
going
game
the changes we got coming out. we had to focus on the pillars to sort of maintain this vision. We had some 4 pillars for our game right now. We have armor, classes, our loadout mastery, talent system. That's 1 pillar, and then then the commitment to the community.
Oh
so
my God.
you want to sort of talk about some of those things?
Yeah, Old School Realm is back. So so starting with armor here, and just overall the theme and thematics of it, we had the impossible task of taking Old School Realm Royale, things that old school players remember, whether it was patch 1, patch 2, patch 3, patch 4, and going back and saying, hey, what did we get right back then? What are things that players that get excited about and love? And then looking to the past for inspiration. And one of those big pillars was armor in general. I think we have a nice little B-roll cut to actually go to the video, to show you guys. For you old school players, you're going to recognize that armor. You're going to recognize that armor. You're going to see those buffs and those powers afforded to you. And we kind of landed back on armor here because for 2 reasons. Number 1, it was a knob that we could kind of tune throughout the game, go from green to purple to legendary. As you get better and better armor, you're getting faster, harder, better, stronger. And players really, really like that. And armor obviously turned into ruins, and then we turned it back into armor because that was kind of the feedback that we had, where it was like, hey, we miss armor. We love being able to say, you are going to get faster. Your weapon speed, your weapon reload will get faster. Your weapon swap speed, your cooldown reduction, right? And not only does it give it knobs to developers, us, me, to be able to tune the weapons and abilities to the good point, but also it lets you, the player, visually see that, oh yeah, I am getting stronger, and my horse is getting faster. And so I think design-wise and from the team, I think a lot of old school players are going to love it. New school players, give it a shot. I'm expecting a Reddit post, 1 or 2 Reddit posts being like, I miss runes. Good news is those gameplay loops will be kind of brought back into the forefront of our game. Life Steal wasn't afforded to the player in general when it came to armor. However, in Rage, the new warrior ability does have a lifesteal component, so we're looking to bring some of those components of runes back in fun and interesting ways.
Another thing about armor now, you find them in chests.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. You can forge them in the forge.
Yes. You
can upgrade them in the forge. So, and they do specific things, and they're maintained. Their rarity is just, they're maintained. What they give you just goes up with rarity.
Yes.
Right? So that's a very clear way to the player to say, this thing does this, got it. I can focus on that to improve my character, my player throughout the match. So that was one thing we wanted to simplify, that language back out to the character. What am I picking up here? What is it doing?
Yeah.
Instead of mixing and matching that all throughout a bunch of different abilities or whatever it would be, we try to just focus it in one spot.
For sure. And for players out there wondering, what about my armor rune? I love it. So we actually gave armor per 5 onto the chest piece itself. So you're going to get some armor per 5 and HP 5 as well. So
you want to go over real quick what the armor does? Just real fast?
I can do that. So helmet's going to give you cooldown reduction as you remember it. Armor is chest piece is going to give you HP 5 and armor per 5 up to a set rank. Gloves are going to give you swap speed and reload speed, and the bowies are going to give you mount speed and movement speed.
Yeah, so those are quite fun. Yes, get the legendaries, please. They're a great time. Awesome, man. So let's see. Moving through from that, talk about some armor,
and then we're going right into classes.
Yeah, let's go into classes. This is a huge one.
Yes.
Right? But it's like, how do you define something for a vision here when we had classes without classes all of a sudden, right? I mean, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. So, again, going back to a little old school cool here, we had 2 visions of Realm Royale, and by we, I definitely not mean me. No, so we had
me.
2 diametrically opposed ideas of what Realm Royale could be. The old school Realm, the early Realm, it was classes. It was all about class-based battle royale. Definitely very near and dear to my heart as an old school player. And then you look at what's currently in the game, and that's more of the freedom approach, right? Saying, okay, you see a ability, a weapon on the ground, no matter whose it is, pick it up. Especially with a lot of the classes not being finished, though that freedom allowed you to be able to kind of those weak spots with the classes. And so joining the team, you guys were like, Thor, fix this. And I was like, so what we came to, I think, is a very good compromise here. It's the class locking that you remember from the old school Realm, but with a little bit of freedom thrown in, and going into what's really called what I've called the treasure chest class design approach. So the idea behind this is that you have your combat abilities, and then your iconic movement ability. And this is, again, a call back to old school Realm here. Just so the warriors are heroic leap, the swords, the blinks, and of course the grapple. I'm very excited for you guys. That has been a nightmare to code, but we have the grapple hook. We'll get into that. So those are the movement abilities that you remember on those classes. Those can never change. Those are your movement abilities. Again, from a competitive aspect, you want to be able to like see, okay, a warrior's coming out of me. What can the warrior do? And so that's a big part of locking that class movement. You will be able to upgrade it, and you will be able to find better ones, but you will not be able to change it. But that leads to the combat abilities. So your combat
nice.
abilities.
Oh, you don't say.
The combat abilities are abilities that you can actually change and rearrange to your liking. Using Hunter as an example, maybe you want to go flare and proximity trap. Maybe you want to go dodge roll, and you want to go.
But wait a second. Dodge roll sounds like a movement ability.
Yeah. Well,
my
it's a
God,
combat
two
ability. I don't know.
movement
No,
abilities.
absolutely. Well, I mean, as part of this is like getting our classes into line with also allowing for customization, more movement based, versus more ability based. So I mean, why don't you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so going back to the class locking aspect of the nature, so we wanted to, kind of say, hey, these are your class abilities. But we do have universal abilities as well, so you will be kind of able to reach out of that pot, be like, ooh, maybe I want that sexy Lightfoot potion that you guys put into, and kind of supplement your class loadout here. But again, it's saying, we made a hunter. You go make your hunter. Whether it's this ability, this iconic hunter ability, you go make your fun playstyle. So again, another call back to old school Realm. You will see a little bit of different staging when it comes to equipping your abilities. For current players, that's going to feel a little bit wonky. I know it takes a little bit of time to get that muscle memory kind of. Good. But we'll go into specifically when it comes to the class in a second here, talking about all the changes and choices that we made going into Realm Royale Reforged, but I feel like this is the right choice. And again, so much of what the original patch was supposed to be a foundation patch, right?
Yes.
What is the foundation?
Indeed.
What is the template going forward for more classes, more abilities? Let's get the basics right here. Let's get the basics right. So that meant pruning in some cases, and you'll see that in a second. That meant finding what the metas are currently, the toxic metas of Flare, Vision, Soul Gus, Skolo Chaos. Those are being vaulted. Those have been toxic for the last 2.5 years now. So it's back to basics here. Let's get it right the first time. Let's build on this, and I think really this class architect, this system that we have in place here is the system we're going with going forward, and I think it's healthier overall for the game.
I definitely agree. I mean, we're talking a little bit more about the system, and what's happening is there's some systems that you see, and then there's some systems under the hood that we need to do to allow us to give you more soon and properly, right? So we can add more things to the game far simpler than just having to patch it on top. So I think that's a big pillar for us was let's make sure that we are building a solid foundation of experience to the player along with an experience to build on. So that's a really important part.
Speaking of experiences to build on, we've got the Hunter on deck first. Oh, look at that sexy skin, that OG skin. And so players are going to be like, I knew this was a cash grab. Look at that sexy skin. They're going to make me want to buy that. No, that is actually a skin you're getting for free called the OG skin. So good news, if you ever played Realm Royale, you will find that in inventory. We'll get into that a little bit later. However, we're talking about Hunter right now, and we've got Sean on deck right now playing with the Hunter. So first and foremost, we do have to talk about weapons first, though. Sean, if you can head over to the weapons. We are looking at longbow, the iconic longbow that is staying
now
in.
the hunt.
And as live players know, that there is two issues with Hunter weapons. Right now, we have the Abalist on live, and that is a very strong weapon. So if
you're wondering, he does talk like this all the time.
So we have a dead weapon in the form of the crossbow on live, and nobody uses the crossbow. It is not good, and then we have the Arbalest that is very hard to balance, and we noticed that similar trend going across all different classes. So we said, again, let's get back to basics here. Let's figure out this balance rise. So
oh man, coming at you, butt stuff.
I'm gonna need a freeze AI stat on that. Sean throwing it down. He's like, oh no. Don't worry, we're doing it live, baby. We're doing it live.
One thing real quick though to mention is that each class has 2 weapons, right?
Yes,
class weapons.
Yeah.
So that's coming up.
Yes,
right?
so we went down to 2 class weapons here, and with the idea that we're going to be adding more class weapons, more abilities.
Nice job.
The Hunter's weapons are going to be the crossbow. It's going to feel drastically different than you guys are used to it. It's going to be the tracking weapon, and of course you've got the iconic longbow. So those 2 weapons, if Sean knows where a crossbow is, he can go ahead and show it off a little bit. However, he is going to be rocking that longbow, and we're going to get into that. So starting with the weapons with the Hunter, those 2 weapons, and of course we're going to go back and say, maybe it's dual wielding crossbows, maybe it's something. What does the community want when it comes to Hunter weapons? And that is what I'm excited to see going down the line.
That's really the crossbow? Doesn't it have 10 ammo?
Adam, I'm going to be honest with you. There is a meta right live when it comes to specifically Flare. That is not healthy for our game. Vision has been way too easy to get onto the other people. And it's not good. It's generally a very toxic meta right now. So not only do we have to go class by class, but also kind of utility / system by system. And so for the Hunter, you're going to be able to use Flare. Flare now actually starts its cooldown on projectile explode. So if you shoot it into the ground, that cooldown will instantly start. However, if it's in the air, the cooldown will not start until the actual expiration of that projectile itself.
Okay, then.
And for people out
off.
there, you might notice if you get a Flare or Vision on you as an enemy or a character, you will understand when you're under Vision. now, and that is so important.
Yes.
In a sense here, let's say Sean, I'm fighting against Sean right now, and Sean hits his flare out there, and he hits me with it. I will have a little golden orb above my head telling me I'm under the effects.
Yeah, you can see actually in the distance there that that player does have it even.
Yes, good call on that. That leads us into, we've got iconic abilities that you know from Realm Royale. We've got the proximity trap. Oh, and the grapple hook. Oh my gosh, Sean's just excited. So, we're going to get into that in a second. There we go. There's the hot grapple hook. You know, Sean, this is your world, buddy. We're living into it. We're talking about the grapple hook here.
Yeah.
This has been a tremendous task force on us to get grapple hook right. To give a little bit of insight, I remember walking into Hi-Res Studios, day one of Realm Royale, and a developer was like, Thor, we're going to have a grapple hook in our game. 3 years later, that dream was never realized. So it is I'm proud to announce that the hunter has the grapple hook. I'm expecting a lot of hot 360s, grapple hook shots as well as that. You can cancel it, you can shoot, you can go up. You have that verticality now. It's very,
what the mage you doing?
Very good. Very.
I think the flip side of that too.
And like combo that with dodge roll, because dodge roll is actually my favorite movement
that was
ability.
A big change too. Make sure that they stay on theme as much as possible.
Yeah.
And to get that feel out was to really just make sure, wow, is it fun now to play a hunter? Everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is the best, So I feel like just using these movement abilities was one of the key components to making a character feel right for their class. So I feel like bringing the grappling hook in was just
hunter
right
is my highest
it's funny
class.
because internally we got feedback like the grapple hook is so fun. Can it be a universal ability? And we're like, no, this is just the standard now for new abilities. This is fun. This is awesome. Let's balance. Let's get it out the door. That leads us into the grapple hook. Obviously, there's more things we got to do to make it tighten up a little bit. And again, this is the first step here.
But again, it's phase one of these things, and it's just so great. When we push something as strong as a grapple hook and as fun as a grapple hook, instead of making it universal, we go, no, let's think of something more fun, better for the other classes that kind of keep matching it. So we keep pushing ourselves to bring you something new as opposed to just going, just give it to everybody. Like that lets us keep improving the game and pushing the fun all the time.
Of course, and going back to really the class fluidity here, and if Sean wants to pick up a blast arrow, if he wants to pick up another ability, he can choose what goes into his 2 slots now. That movement slot is locked. However, it's now up to him to say, you know what, let me put that Lightfoot potion into my other ability slot. Let me use that. I want to be a very mobile hunter, right? And that's the kicker there. He can
I think
choose
that's my
what goes
favorite
into
hunter.
slots as long
What
as
it
it's a
lacks
hunter ability
is
or-
some self-sustain.
But that kind of wraps
Sorry,
up.
actually, you said a movement ability. You mean universal ability?
Way to catch me.
Because this is clear. We're trying to get some new nomenclature out there because this is going to be different for old players. So we're still learning them too, right?
I know.
Totally
I'm an idiot.
But it's just really fun to be able to customize those 2 ability slots now. It really allows you to tweak your experience. It's a lot better per match.
You want to play mobile hunter? Go play mobile hunter.
Oh,
You want to do an
boy.
offensive hunter, explosive trap, and blast arrow? Go ahead and rock that. I want to put a little dodge roll in there. Put a little dodge roll in there. This is your world. We're just living it. We're creating it. Awesome. And that leads us right into what the mage.
Mage.
Yes. That's a good one.
Mage.
That
was
art
one of
is
our problem
amazing.
childs,
I
when
wish
it
I
came
could
to
do that.
classes. And so Mage has really been a hodgepodge of other abilities, whether it was the Gronks from
she's
Paladins,
the
the Ghost
only-
Squad, Fireball used to be a thing, it's no longer a thing. Ice Wall was a thing, and so honestly, Mage has suffered both thematically and design-wise over the years in Realm Royale. She's been
the
kind of
only one
propped
with
up by a very
four
strong
full
stone
abilities.
staff. However,
Ice
I'm
block,
very excited to share with
Ice
everybody here
block,
is that our
fireball,
first step was
flask
to
of
fix it from
healing,
a
and then
thematic
her 2
perspective.
weapons.
Say,
Absolutely.
okay, yes,
With a
let's
3.
make a mage feel more like a mage. So
I'm all
going
wrong.
forward,
I
and we're going
should
to
just
show
check
you in
myself.
game, the mage is going to have Fire Staff and Ice Staff. And again, this is our first pass on it, but this was
Yeah,
huge.
3
This,
abilities.
shout out to Sean out here. We sat down, and within like a couple days,
Well, everyone
we're
else
like,
should
hey,
be
that's
like
amazing.
4.
Sean is actually a
Blows my
wizard when
mind.
it comes to this kind of stuff. So the Fire Staff, and for the people on live, and I don't want to go too deep into our history of Realm Royale, you're going to be shooting those mini fireballs, and it's going to be very reminiscent of
God,
this
I
current
already
Ice Staff.
don't like the fireball.
But now it's Fire Staff. It's going to have fire effects. So we're going to put a little bit of fire, a little
Or
bit of
the Fire
this on that
Staff.
Fire Staff.
Kind of
Make it-
felt
Just
that way
playing
with me, right?
against
She's
it is
floating,
so-
You're feeling the fire in her hand. It just works. It's just so much more amazing.
Exactly. Explosive fireballs, AoE, very iconic.
What the hell is
to
that?
The, mages. And then if you switch over to the Ice Staff, you're going to see that Ice Staff now shoots ice shards at you. That's going to be your 3-round burst. It's going to be very simple to play. Players understand and a stone staff on live for those current live players.
Was that a
but it's really
stone?
saying, okay, let's fix these classes, these weapons, let's get these iconic. And it's a small, subtle shift, but it is a shift that makes the game feel better overall, specifically for the mage class.
I'm gonna
Yes,
stock
that again
up my
goes into,
swords.
does this
Wow.
feel enough? We're gonna constantly be checking ourselves. Like, does this feel enough like a class? Because it's so easy to branch off. Because there's so many cool things to make in it.
True.
It's like, whoop, you have to keep them focused, get the cool things for where they really deserve to go. We also see, obviously, she's got her sword. That's still there.
Yes, yeah, so she is going to have the sword, and it's actually kind of interesting. The sword is one of the best abilities on live right now, and we are going to be going back to the drawing book saying, how can we spice up Sora a little bit, because all the other classes have got a little bit of love when it comes to their movement ability, but Sora's still great, still iconic to the mage, but look out, because we're definitely taking a hard look at how to make Sora that much more special. But switching right over to the abilities, we've gotten feedback both internally and externally. It's like, hey, it's not a mage unless she has a fireball. And we agreed.
Right.
Fireball's coming back, baby. Those big fireballs. Now, it's not going to be a 900 fireball on a 4-second cooldown. I know you savages out there remember that. That is not going to be what we bring into the game. We're still looking at a pretty hard-hitting fireball with a little bit of dot damage on the end of it. It's going to be that 1-2 punch that you guys remember back in the day. But again, fireballs, goodness gracious, great balls of fun.
Goodness
So
gracious.
it's going to be one of those things you have to wait and see. You guys will see it on live right now. But fireballs are going to be very iconic. Going through the list here as we go down, and if you guys want to switch back to the main we're going to have Ice Block. Ice Block is back. Ice Block is cancelable now, so that is an iconic thing for players used to remember. You know, Matt, if you were a sniper
really
rifle,
cared
a
for Ice
sniper,
Block.
or an assassin rather,
Even though
and you went to go
it
shoot
does
me, I
look
could
like it helps.
block the first shot with the Ice Block,